everyone, how's everyone today? Welcome to Commercial Farming by the Dirt Road Farmer. Well, harvest season has begun. Yes, and we have a lot of acres to get through. Let's turn the HUD on. And if we look at this field is 476.93, might as well say 477 acres. It's got a harvest potential of 1,737,011 liters. So, yes. Anyway, we are set up here. Of course, we're going to be chasing these harvesters with our grain cart. And we've got 5 of these Colossus harvesters that we're going to put in this field. So I've already, and they all have that honeybee header on them with the wind system. So yes. Anyway, I ran these heads last year and they all worked real good, and that's what I've been running ever since, and I have absolutely no complaint whatsoever. So we're going to get these guys headed out into the field, and we're going to put them to work. All right, we are off. Harvesting season has begun. Now we have several thousands of acres that we have to do, and we won't get them all done today. Yes. When we get done, we will end up with about, probably close to 55,000 or 55 million liters of soybeans in our farm silo. That'll have to be sold at a later date when the price comes up. Now, we have 2 trucks sitting over there. They're running on Autodrive. So we'll chase them with the grain cart, these harvesters, and we'll put the grain in those 2 trucks and they'll take them to the silo and dump. So we are off. All right. Well, it looks like our first number 1 harvester is making its way back down here. So we'll get him unloaded and wait for him to make another round. I've already gotten up this morning and fed all the cows, and I picked up a bunch of flour at the grain mills, took them over to the bakery, and picked up a bunch of bread, and that seems to be working out okay for me. Like I've said many times, I don't normally mess with the facilities, the factories and stuff like that, mainly because that's not what this farm's all about. This is a commercial, it's a commercial farm with thousands of acres. And it's all I can do just to keep up with the grain, harvesting, preparing the fields, replanting. That's a job right there all on its own. So I don't normally mess with the facilities. But I had wheat. Wheat is a it does make a lot of grain whenever you harvest it, but per liter, it just doesn't sell for much. So I thought, well, I've got to harvest the wheat because I need the straw. It's either wheat or barley, and I wanted to make a little more money off of it to cover the expenses. So what I done is I put in an extra grain mill, and I bought a bakery. It's a commercial bakery, and I thought, well, if I make bread, that won't take too much effort out of my daily chores that I have to do, along with feeding 2,880 head of cattle. So, yeah, I'll just do that. Well, it's working out pretty good because I just sold about $385,000 worth of bread. And that was about, let's see, 25, that was about, say, 50,000 liters of grain. So I would say that that's working out pretty good. So now I've got to try to figure out something for my corn. I don't know, I may look into that. If it isn't going to take too much of my time, I may do something with the corn. Because I don't use enough. Of course, I could sell my chaff, or I could put in some more fermenting silos and ferment it to silage and sell the silage. But there again, you're not talking about enough money toward doing all that. You know, I'm in the same boat as I am with the wheat or the barley. So, yeah, I'm just checking it out, see what I can come up with, you know, and as long as it ain't going to take a whole lot of my time, then I may do something like that. But anyway, we've got these guys all unloaded, and we're going to wait for them to make another round. We'll go up here and get staged. All right. Well, they have got their first lands done, and their first area of their lands, and they'll go over and they'll blaze a new path now. So we'll get this guy unloaded, and we'll go put this in our trucks. Alright, let's go over and dump it into our trucks. I don't know if we'll have enough to load them or not. We'll have enough to load one for sure, but we'll find out. Alright. And how's everybody doing today? Well, we're getting closer to ho-ho, ain't we? Yeah. Getting closer to Christmas. Happy times of the year. Alright. Like I said, I don't know if we'll have enough to fill both of these trucks, because each one of them holds 300,000 liters apiece. So, yeah, we'll see. All right. We'll find out, won't we? Yeah, we're not going to have enough. That's all right. We'll go get some more grain, and we'll finish him on the next round. Now, when we get south of here on those big fields, yeah, we'll have all 3 trucks up there running. So, maybe. I don't know. These 2 trucks here, they may be able to just keep up, but we do have some fields where we do need all of them. So, it's, yeah, when I say thousands of acres, that's exactly what I mean. A bunch. If you was to ask me exactly how many acres do you own, I can't honestly answer that right now. I'd have to figure it out. But it's a bunch. Quite a bit. So here's where they're starting their new lands, and they'll do this part just like they did the last part over there. And whenever they get this done, then they'll move down. So anyway, we're just gonna let them go to one end of the field and come back, and we'll empty them on the way back. Do you guys do you run lands whenever you harvest? How do you set your harvesters up if you use Courseplay? I'd be interested in knowing. Lands usually works good for me, and the reason for that is, other than that lead harvester, whenever he starts a new land, a new part of the field, he's blazing the way, so you can't run alongside him and unload. Now, if he gets loaded while he's doing that, Courseplay is smart enough, and I mean, it's just a brilliant mod. He'll stop, all the others will stop behind him, and he'll back up a little bit, and he'll cut in and let you get in beside him and unload him without you having to get into the crop. So, but anyway, we're gonna just keep on keeping on, get these guys emptied out, and you know, like I said, the harvest is on. All right, I wanted to take the time to show you something. A lot of times whenever I'm harvesting, you see the grain going into this grain cart, but you don't see it building up any. Well, if you take a close look, you see that screen looking material down there on the bottom. It's got holes in it. Okay, what it is that screen is put there so that all the grain goes down through that, and that keeps, that prevents you from getting a tree limb in there, or leaves or anything like that. In other words, it's sifting the grain before it goes into the bottom and can be augered out. So that's why it looks like that, and most of the time it fills the bottom down there before you ever start seeing it accumulate up on the top. Now, while you're augering it into a truck, it's augering from the bottom, so all that grain is getting sifted down through that screen looking material. So I just wanted to take the time to show you that. It's just an interesting little tidbit. But yes, we are waiting on these harvesters to get back down this way, and we'll get them emptied out again. All right, I thought we'd ride with this harvester for a little bit. Till we get down here where the grain cart's at. All right. Looks pretty good. Doing a real good job. And we have come quite a ways. Yeah. We're gaining on it. Why don't you leave me a comment? Let me know what what map you're farming on. Yeah, I would be very interested in knowing how many of you do commercial farming. Another thing I'm very interested in. What kind of equipment do you run? Do you have favorites? I am a John Deere man, but I've got to run the equipment that will get the job done. You know, if I had more help to run grain carts, yeah, maybe I would run John Deere, but I'm only one person, and I really do like to play the game, so I don't typically automate everything. But yeah, leave me a message. Let me know how you feel about it. But anyway, we'll get in this grain cart and we'll start emptying these guys out. All right, we'll take this over and put it in the grain, or not grain cart, but the trucks. Again, I don't know if we'll have enough to fill both of them, but we'll sure find out. How do you guys move your grain and stuff around? Do you use grain carts? Do you run trucks in the field? To be honest about it, the only time that I usually run a truck in the field, and that is when I'm collecting chaff. When I'm cutting corn, I'll run a truck in the field, and because it holds a lot more, you know. So yeah. So how do you guys do it? How many trucks do you usually put beside a field when you're harvesting? I usually try not to run any more trucks than what I need, but you know, like I said, I've modded these trailers, and I don't usually do that, but I modded these trailers to hold 300,000 liters apiece because of all the grain that I do have. You know, it's just man, I move a lot of grain. Well, if you've been following me, you've watched where I moved over 50 million liters and sold it of canola right off this farm right here. And that was 1 year cutting. That was one year's worth. So yeah. Anyway, let me know. Looks like we got them both loaded and they're both off. So that's good. So we'll get back around here and we'll chase some more harvesters and get loaded again. All right. Well, we are on our last row, and if you can see, they're doing it a little different on their last row. That's their number one harvester over there on the far side. They'll turn and go that way and come back down the field, and whenever they reach the end of the field, then they'll be done. So I'll tell you, I've said it several times, and I don't think I can say it enough about the modders that come up with these mods and design them and put them in place for us to use. They do that free, for just because they like to do it. And of course you can go and contribute to them and support them, but they don't ask you for it. They just like to do it. So anyway, we're going to wait for them to get back down here to the other end of the field. We'll get them all off the field, lined up, and empty them out, and we'll be done with this field. We'll go put our grain in the cart. All right. Well, we brought our HUDs up, and because we are just about to complete this field. If you look down here, we've got 10 seconds and it's counting down. So I've already got the first 4 harvesters off the field this same exact way. Wait for them to complete their row and shut them down, put the pipe out, and come over here and put them in line. Just like this. All right. Now, we'll jump out of this, come back here and get in our cart. And we'll empty those harvesters out. Now they have to be running. That's something that's different in FS22 than it was 19. They have to be running in order for you to unload them. So, all right, we got what he's got, and you'll see how fast they're unloading. You get used to that on how fast your harvesters unload, and helps you keep up a little better. All right. We get this done, we'll take it over and we'll put it in the trucks. All right. Now we'll take it over and we'll dump it in our trucks and get them on their way. And we'll be done with this field. I think we're probably going to hit right around where our estimated harvest was going to be, somewhere around 1.7 million liters. So you can't beat that. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I think we're gonna call this a video once we get over here and get this dumped. There they are up there. If you guys like this content, please go down and give me a like. Go down and smash that like button. Tell me what you do on your farms. Tell me how you do things. How many cattle you're operating. You know, how many head of cattle you've got. And yeah. But this is the way that I do things, but I'm all ears. If you can tell me a better way, believe me, I'll listen. I've thought about automating some grain carts and then drive one myself. I've thought about that. But I don't know. You know, I'm just, that's the way it is. But anyway, I think we're going to call this a video. And as always, thank you for watching.